Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another episode of CSGO News. Kind of a special episode here with a lot of great news, but also not going to do gameplay in the background, and I really need you guys' feedback really quick in the comments down below. What you guys like more, having gameplay in the background or just the news in the background? Anyways, welcome to the news. Let's get into our first story. So first off in today's episode of CSGO News, we have Cloud9 with a huge announcement. They have released and actually kicked fREAKAZOiD from their starting roster. Now, I say released and kicked, but none of those are actually true. He is still on their official roster, or at least under contract until the end of 2017. For the next year or so, they will have him on contract. They're trying to sell him away to other teams. They're looking for offers, but he is off their starting roster. When I first saw this, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let me double take for a second. You just pick up Stewie 2K, Sean Gares leaving months ago, and now you're kicking fREAKAZOiD out of your starting lineup. And who better to replace him than the ex-Liquid player from MLG Columbus? Of course, we have AdreN who will be standing in for him for the time being. Now, they did not specify a date, but they will be having AdreN stand in for him for probably quite some time until they find anyone else to replace him. But huge deal here as fREAKAZOiD, or otherwise known as Ryan Abadir, I believe that's his full name, was kicked. Now, no really surprise here because he actually has had a lot of altercations with the team. Also, the CSGO community, you know, a few videos coming out with him arguing with not only Stewie 2K, you guys kind of took viral that CSGO video there, where he basically tore to bits his own teammate Stewie 2K and talked crap about him. Also, he's had altercations with Liquid S1mple in the past, to the point where he was actually fined a 1-month salary, and he's had to actually apply to and actually go to several anti-bullying seminars to pay for that 1-month salary fine. So a lot of things going on that we didn't really see behind the scenes. So Ryan Abadir, or fREAKAZOiD, has been kicked from Cloud9 starting roster. Huge announcement, and you know, that's probably the highlight of the news today. All of it just goes boo. Also in CSGO News today, we had a series of confusing tweets from none other than Kenny S from Team Envious. The first one coming after a close loss on day one of DH MALMO, or DreamHack MALMO, versus Tempo Storm. They lost the game just barely 14-16, and afterwards Kenny S had an interview with FragBite live on broadcast and live stream, and he said he misspoke, so he tweeted this out instead, and he wanted to state this, and here's what I depicted this tweet as. He wanted to say that Team Envious had a lot of players with a lot of issues, Kioshima being the one player with the most issues, but kicking him also did not solve the problem. So Kenny S kind of double-edging it there, saying we had to kick Kioshima, but kicking him also didn't solve the problem. Then today they actually bested FaZe Clan, and not really a close game. I think it was 16-8. So Team Envious really dominated FaZe Clan and kicked them out. So kind of ironic there. And then Kenny S had this confusing tweet at Kioshima saying, "Good game, we bro," and everyone in the replies kind of nailed it here. Like, what the F does this mean, Kenny? He's not very good at English, but hey, you can't really blame him. You can only speak so many different languages. Also, we now have our first 4 teams out, 3 of them being a huge surprise. That is G2, Team Liquid, and FaZe Clan are all first out in the group stages, followed by Lounge Gaming. So those are the first 4 teams out. All 3 of those, Team Liquid, G2, and FaZe Clan, are kind of big surprises. So DreamHack MALMO has obviously been going great so far, with a lot of blowouts and a lot of close games as well. Otherwise in the news, and I know I briefly mentioned these games in the last clip, the end of the last clip or so, but we had 2 huge upsets today. One was Team Liquid, the other G2, both of which took place in the top 4, the first 4 teams out of DreamHack MALMO, which is a big surprise. Obviously, both of these teams expected at least to make out a group stage. Team Liquid and G2 probably not expected to go much farther than that, but definitely not group stage losing teams. Neither of them actually won a game. We had Team Liquid losing today to Tyloo. They lost to Mouse Sports yesterday. Again, they lost to Tyloo today, a Chinese team, in a single overtime that went pretty late. I believe it was 22-19 that score, and they lost to Mouse Sports 13-16. So 2 really close games for Team Liquid that could have made the difference of them being undefeated and obviously 0-2 and being kicked out. So unfortunate for Team Liquid. Now G2, a totally different story. They lost to CLG Gaming day 1, 16-2, absolutely destroyed, and they got destroyed today by Godsent, Pronax's team. Pronax only being the only real known player on that team, but Godsent, a team that's actually been known to have some ups and downs, but still a really convincing loss there. They lost 8-16. G2 definitely struggling as a team, which kind of makes me a little bit happy. Is that like a bad thing? I know probably a few of you guys are G2 fans. I am not. Ever since they kicked Existence, you know, for no reason, everyone's been tweeting about this. You know, Existence was right. Existence should still be in the team. Body's the problem. Shox call out problem. So now we also have tweets coming out saying that Shox is also hurt. So he joins Guardian and Olofmeister having wrist injuries. Apparently that's the reason. That could be an excuse, but apparently he's having wrist injuries as well. But those are 2 big surprises so far for DreamHack MALMO. MALMO. And again, 3 of the top 4 teams out, or the first 4 teams out, were really big upsets. We had FaZe Clan, Team Liquid, G2 all out in group stages, along with Lounge Gaming, which is no surprise. So DreamHack MALMO has been astounding so far and should be a good finish. Also, last in the news today, really quick news story. I'm so sorry for this short episode. We had Olofmeister tweet out this. He said a big project coming soon with some good photography there. So we're not really sure if it's a video project or, you know, maybe a new gaming store. We had JW tweet out the last week that he had a gaming store coming up. So big news from Olofmeister, a big project coming from him. Cannot wait to see that. You know he's putting something good together, especially with his off time from gaming. He has not been playing with the team, so he's had a lot of time to put in towards other things. So excited to hear what he has for that. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's episode. I got to get to class. I have a lot of busy stuff going on this week, so I'm so sorry for the short episode. I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of CSGO News without gameplay in the background. Please leave your feedback down below in the comment section. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this episode. I really have been enjoying making CSGO News and cannot thank you all enough for the great feedback and support. As always, live, love, laugh a lot. Remember, I like you. I'll see you in a couple days in another CSGO News video. Until then, goodbye. And before we move on to our next CSGO News story, it'll be a good one, trust me, but I was just trying to fathom and think about how rare it is for CSGO or even a CSGO team to hand out a fine for a verbal altercation. You know, this is not the NFL or a pro sports team where fines are handed out daily to pro sports players for not showing up to practice. We talk about practice or, you know, mouthing off to cameramen and also interviewers and that kind of thing. This is esports where, you know, these kind of things don't happen. So you have to think about this, you know, for fREAKAZoiD to get a verbal altercation and a 1-month salary fine, which is a big thing, you know, 1 month of their salary, you know, a big proportion of that. He must have said some real mean things to Liquid S1mple, so I really want to hear more on that. But anyway, here's the next story. Wow.